Trick or treat! Trunk or treat! Damn it! Fucks it up.
Sorry guys, I'm all out of candy this year. You're just gonna have to deal with the leftovers.
Dressing different this year?
Yeah, Jason's getting a little old. I thought I'd do something different. Well, happy Halloween, you hooligans!
Hey, why didn't I get a...
Ah, another Halloween come and gone. Guess I'll go edit the next Star Wars video. Could you imagine? I swear to fucking God, if that's Specsavers again, I'm gonna kill someone. I can see fine. Those kids shouldn't have been playing in the middle of the road.
This isn't Specsavers.
Who is this?
Nobody. What's your favorite scary movie?
I feel like Ace Ventura had scary parts in it, right? Hey, phone guy, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll be seeing you real soon.
Oh well. I'm just gonna go sit down next to my big window.
This is the end. No wonder why I have the best horror movies.
What? No. The best? No.
What do you mean, no?
I mean, no.
Alright, I'm just gonna kill you then.
It's Halloween, baby! And this year, I'm feeling a little bit ghoulish. I'm feeling a little more trick, a little less treat this year, you know what I'm saying? Like just yesterday, I found this bowl of popcorn and put rat poison in it without telling anybody. Oh shit, I ate that. I totally forgot. Shit. Well, I'm gonna die. And I got a big bowl of popcorn. I guess it's slasher movie time, isn't it? I fucking love slashers. You guys already know this. I talk about them every year. It's the only time I get to do this. I love my Jasons, I love my Michaels, I love my Freddys, and my Freddys. It's one of my all-time favorite film genres due to its pure, unashamed simplicity. But with simplicity comes schlock. There's nothing that hurts more than seeing a franchise you love become schlock. This ugly word, schlock. For a while there, all the slasher greats became schlock. Now, honestly, sir, tell me what compelled you to eat Jason's heart, because I don't quite understand the logic here. Every one of these series was either becoming the same thing over and over again, or becoming completely fucking insane. But just as this was happening, Wes Craven emerged from the fucking shadows like Batman and unleashed upon the world the Scream franchise. A satirical critique of the state of slasher movies that would completely change the landscape of the genre as a whole. And oh boy, let me tell you, I don't fucking like these movies. Alright, hold on. I know my opinions are pretty fucking crazy sometimes, I'm aware of that. But I know that I'm crossing a line this time, okay? I know. These are without a doubt some of the most popular and beloved horror movies of our time, and I'm aware that a lot of people will die on the hill that this is the best horror series of all time. But I'm sorry, it's just not. I don't know what you want me to say. I've had this take brewing for a while now, and I've finally reached my boiling point. So for this year's annual horrifying Halloween holiday hijinks, we're gonna sit down and watch the Scream movies. All 6 of them, in fact. So buckle in for some weak scares, some mediocre kills, and a couple of very predictable mysteries, because it's time to watch... Oh, wait. It's time to watch Scream. My bad, I read the script wrong. Scream 1 is actually pretty good. I know my takes are boiling hot this time around, but I'm not a fucking animal, okay? I really like this movie. Scream 1 is like the perfect Halloween-y, spooky, creepy horror movie. Whenever I want to show someone a good scary movie, this is what I put on because it has a little something for everybody. I'm also Evil Dead 2, it might be a little too weird. The movie isn't really like that impressive nowadays, because in terms of horror movies, this is just kind of how they all are now. But for the time, this is really impressive, and I think it stands the test of time better than movies that were released even a few years ago. This shit is perfect from the very first scene of the movie. The opening is iconic as fuck, and for a good reason. It makes me pee my pants. This scene is a fucking classic for so many reasons. It's iconic as hell, and opening your big slasher movie with a fresh kill keeps you on your toes from the very beginning, but also this is pretty decently scary too.
I really like the horror genre, alright? Because I'm a man, I don't get scared.
This scene doesn't exactly make you shit from fear or anything, but the idea of being stalked by some mystery man in a house with like a billion windows really did put me on edge my first time around. And that's something I honestly can't say for a lot of other horror movies that I've seen. And Drew Barrymore is just acting her fucking ass off for no reason. She is honestly the most convincing performance in the movie, and you really do feel bad for her when she dies. It's honestly pretty heartbreaking. Oh yeah, she dies! All the marketing for this movie was so fucking goofy.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
As far as anybody knew, this poor girl was the main character. She was the poster girl. She was on this shitty other one. She was the star of the movie. And she gets absolutely wasted in the first 13 minutes. It's incredible. This movie is so fun. It's so rare that a horror movie has more than like 3 good characters. And in this movie, they're all good. There is not a singular character in this whole thing that I don't like even a little bit. What the fuck? Gene Cousineau! Sidney Prescott in this first movie is one of my favorite horror protagonists. She's up there with the Ashers and the Nancys of our time. She's smart, she's cute, she's funny, she's capable, and honestly, she's not as along for the ride as other final girls usually are. Like, she absolutely fucks shit up basically every time someone is in danger. And because of that opening scene, you never really know if she's even gonna live or not. Except for me, I've seen this movie before. She'll be fine. And all the other characters are also just so good. I like how Dewey's just like a goofy little guy in this one. Like, yeah, he's fine in the other ones. He's probably the best part, to be honest. But I don't think anybody watched this movie and said, yeah, this guy's got to become a franchise-spanning action hero. The best scene with him in the whole movie is just the moment where he mimics the sheriff smoking his cigarette with his ice cream cone. It's not even acknowledged, and when I noticed it for the first time, I could not stop laughing. The best part about this movie's characters is that all of them have like 2.5 character traits. And usually I'd call that bad character writing, but these are horror movie rules, guys. These are different. Flanderization is good in these movies because it makes the characters more fun. I prefer this Gale over any of the other sequels because she's just kind of a bitch, but that's really funny. Every time she's on screen, I just get ready to laugh my ass off.
Look, Penny.
Yeah?
I know that you're about 50 pounds overweight, but when I say hurry, please interpret that as move your fat tub of lard ass now!
This poor cameraman. He just gets shit on the whole movie and then just fucking dies with no fanfare. I really like the main friend group in this movie. It's so hard for horror movies to write good teens for some reason, but this movie just kind of does it perfectly, like it's no big deal. The only one I don't really care for as much as the others is Sydney's bestie, Tatum. This poor girl's only character trait is getting put in the most fucked up shit by the wardrobe department. Girl, what are you wearing? This is a skull! And also, our homoerotic killers, Billy and Stu, are just so good. Billy's the serious, menacing type who's very obviously the brains of the operation, but he is the Olympic gold medalist gaslighting champion. He really does make you feel bad for him when he's trying to prove his innocence, and when he's revealed as the killer at the end, although it isn't really that surprising in hindsight, it really does catch you off guard. And Stu is just, he's the guy. I'll get into this more later, but I think the reason most of this franchise doesn't really work for me
My mom and dad are gonna be so mad.
is because none of the killers ever really get this good again. But nobody, and I mean nobody, holds a fucking candle to Randy. Randy is my favorite character in this series, and for good reason. He's kind of the reason it's as good as it is. He exists solely to give exposition, but it's done so well that you kind of just don't care that much.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
And normally a scene like this would probably come off as a little bit corny. Oh, look at me, we're pointing out the cliches, haha. But the chemistry between him and Stu and the way everybody else in this scene acts really makes you believe that these guys are genuine friends and that you're just sitting there with them. And then they do the sickest fucking thing ever. They take the audio of Halloween and edit the next, like, chunk of the movie around it.
I told you he's right around the corner. Jamie, look behind you.
Fun fact, Randy's actor's name is Jamie as well. I don't think this could be cooler if you tried. I also like that Randy, like, lives in this one. Actually, a good chunk of the cast survives. Even Dewey gets absolutely murked on screen and then comes back on a stretcher at the end. See, I like when you point out cliches if you're gonna turn them on their head later. By Randy's rules, he should get absolutely wasted here. But because that's too obvious, it doesn't happen. Sydney breaks one of the golden rules by having sex earlier in the movie.
You can never have sex.
But she doesn't die either, despite it being another one of the cliches. It doesn't happen. This is gonna be a theme later, just keep that in mind. Anyway, Scream 1 is good. It's a spoopy classic, and it's one of the only one of these movies I like. It was so good, I can't wait for the sequel. Alright guys, so I'm gonna take a bit of a liberty here, and I'm gonna try and review Scream 2 and Scream 3 at the same time. Alright, hold on, shut the fuck up! I was gonna do them both one at a time, but then I realized that I don't have a lot to say about them individually. And they're also just kind of the same movie. And spoiler alert, I don't really like either of them. Making a Scream sequel, in my opinion, shouldn't really be that hard. There's really only two options you can go for here. Option 1.
Don't.
Or option 2, make it an anthology. Ooh. The Scream series being an anthology of different casts, different mysteries, and different types of killers would have been so goddamn rad. But I guess I'm the only one who sees it that way, because Scream 2 and 3 are nothing like that. And let me tell you, these movies are deeply unserious. It's kind of annoying that Scream 1 is as good as it is because now we're forever stuck with the ghost face, cell phones, and meta imagery. And by the time you've seen it 3 times, it just gets exhausting. It's also equally exhausting that these movies all have the same characters from the first one. And I really just don't think it works. Sidney Prescott is the nicest girl ever. She is an unfathomably good person. But we need her to keep coming back, so the writers just have to invent new beef for her every single movie, and it's insane. But Randy, the character who basically single-handedly makes the movie work, dies halfway through Scream 2. They even have to bring him back for a cameo in 3 because they realize the script just doesn't work without him. If you ask me though, it doesn't work regardless. These movies rely very heavily on everyone's favorite aspect from the first one, the Scream lore.
Oh my god!
All 3 of these damn movies are based on the murder of Sydney's mother, and as someone who loves the first one, I forgot that was even a thing. It is easily the worst part of that movie, and it just gets so much more unbearable in the sequels. Nobody liked the first one because of the implications of Billy's home life or the trial of Cotton Weary. People like the first one because it's fun. Scream 2 has an entire subplot about Cotton Weary, the guy who got framed for the murder of Sydney's mom in the first movie. You are forced to remember this. I wasn't even sure if he was in the first movie, and I'm gonna be honest, I still don't actually know. But it's not like it matters anyway, it's only the plot of the movie. And then Scream 3 is arguably worse because the villain of that one is also related to Sydney's mom. I just don't care, man. And not to mention, these movies get almost cartoonishly stupid. And the argument can be made that they're satirical, but honestly, I don't think you can just stamp on the label of it being a satire and that just makes it good. I've seen people try and propose the theory that Scream 3 is bad on purpose, and that is actually redonkulous. Because these movies honestly take themselves pretty seriously. Scream 2 is actually pretty dark most of the time, it's just really stupid. And Scream 3 is just like insane. The entire crux of the plot revolves around what's basically a Stark Industries level voice changer. And the killer is Sydney's long lost brother. Girl, why are you acting like you were tight? You met this man 4 minutes ago. These movies aren't really bad, like they're watchable, I just wish they were fun to watch. They honestly have some really good bits in them, like the entire opening of Scream 2 is cool as hell, but it never really gets that good again. There's cool shit like the stage play sequence being metal as hell, and Mickey's a really good Ghostface. But everything else is all so bland that it just doesn't even matter. It's like if you put Scream 1 in the microwave. Yeah, most of it cooked, but the middle's still cold. It doesn't taste very good. And I've said it already, but Scream 3 is just another beast altogether.
Whoever smells the...
What the fuck? Oh my god! There's funny ass shit in it, like the fucking rug bit or Jay and Silent Bob just kind of showing up, but the rest of it is just so boring. These movies put me to fucking sleep. I almost didn't even rewatch 3 for this video because I didn't think I'd be able to stay awake. And I didn't! I fell asleep. I had to finish it later. I really don't like that this series gets kind of a free pass to make bad movies because it's meta, dude. Because I don't think that's really fair. Scream 2 is a commentary on the cliches and conventions of sequels, but it's exactly that. It doesn't really turn the concept on its head like the first one did. It's just a normal sequel. And with Scream 3, that movie just has so much shit going on that I don't even know where to fucking start. It also tries to be a play on third entries with stuff like how threequels like to add a stupid retcon for no reason. And then it just does exactly that without much of a twist. Sydney has a brother. That's it. That's the whole thing. You know how much better this would be if it turned out Roman was just lying about being Sydney's brother? Like if he was just some crazed fan trying to write himself into the lore? That would actually be really interesting and turn the whole threequels thing on its head. Basically what I'm trying to say is that these movies think they're smarter than they really are, and you guys are all falling for it.
It insists upon itself, Lois. What? It insists upon itself.
What does that even mean?
Also, I'm still mad about them killing Randy. He was the best fucking character and they wasted his ass. Dog shit movie. Scream 4 is just, it's so fucking good. I love Scream 4, baby. I am a Scream 4 truther. I founded the fan club and I even have a cameo in the movie. Not to spoil the rest of the video, but this is probably the last time I'm gonna be nice tonight. This is honestly the only Scream sequel I really like. If I'm being honest, it might be my favorite of the whole series. This is the only Scream movie besides the first one that not only actually has something to say, but it's the only one of these sequels that doesn't make me feel like I'm in a fucking coma. Scream 4 off the rip just does this legendary bit of the opening kills being predictable fake-outs basically just to say, yeah, fuck those other movies. And it just warms my pretentious little heart. Scream 4 tackles the concept of legacy sequels and horror reboots, and I find it so fascinating that this shit came out in 2011. And not only is it more relevant than a lot of modern movies trying to do this, but it's also better. Remember earlier when I was saying how Screams 2 and 3 don't turn the cliches on their head and instead use them as a crutch? Yeah, well that is not present here at all. Some of the twists in this movie had me wiggling my little toes in fear. They try to do this cute little bit where it's like, oh look, it's just like the first movie. It's like Billy and Tatum and Randy and Sid. And then in the last act of the movie, they just completely turn around and say, fuck you, Sydney 2 is the killer. Watching this for the first time, I was so shocked that I couldn't even fathom what the fuck was going on. I cannot express how goddamn good it feels to have a Ghostface reveal that A, isn't total horseshit, and B, wasn't predictable. Mickey in Scream 2 was a really good Ghostface. But I saw that shit coming before I even pressed play. It's the most obvious shit in the world. Not only is Jill one of the best Ghostfaces from a pure entertainment standpoint, but the way they use her to deliver the real message is fucking incredible. In our world, these murderers and serial killers almost always guarantee someone fame, and it usually always has disastrous consequences. Look at that fucking Dahmer show. I didn't watch it because it's scummy as fuck, but the consequences of it even existing were pretty dire. People were dressing up as Jeffrey Dahmer last Halloween without a care in the world. This was in 2022. 11 years after Scream 4 delivered the exact same message. The movie actually uses it being a legacy sequel to its advantage by making Sydney a famous author for monetizing her trauma because she was gonna get famous either way. And her cousin Jill says, I want to become Ghostface, and she kills 10 people. Not only is this for once actually well-written motive for someone to hate Sydney, it's incredibly relevant to the real world and is the reason why this movie holds up the best out of the whole series. And not to mention the ending with Jill dying and getting the fame she wanted so badly is chilling as hell. But if I had it my way, Jill would have gotten away with it. Now, I'm not saying this would be better, but as a horror movie, this would genuinely be pretty fucking chilling. The original ending kind of spells it out for you, and I think Jill getting taken out on the stretcher without saying a word and just smiling would be 20 times as effective. To me, it's like the alternate ending of Get Out, a movie that I love. I would have done Get Out for Halloween if I could. The ending of Get Out is great. It suits the movie well and it gives you a nice uplifting feeling to leave you with as the credits roll after the turmoil you just got put through as a viewer for the first hour and a half. But in the alternate ending, instead of getting saved and going home safe and sound, Chris gets caught trying to kill Rose by the police and gets arrested. This ending isn't really better, but it has something really meaningful to say, and for a horror movie, it really leaves you with a deep feeling of despair. And it not only leaves you thinking, but also chills you to your core. The first time I saw this, I genuinely got sick to my stomach. It's that chilling. And I could have seen a similar effect with Scream 4. Could you imagine this movie ending with Sydney fucking dying and Jill just getting away with it and becoming an icon? I personally think that delivers the message way better. But what do I know? I'm no screenwriter, I can barely script. But honestly, this movie's message is kind of in the back of my head anyway. I'm just sitting here absolutely gadzooked, gobsmacked, and flabbergasted at the fact that this movie is actually fun to fucking watch. And good God, that is honestly all I want out of one of these movies. The mystery is really good, it's funny as shit, and the original characters are actually used well here. And it has good gore? What? The Scream movies never have good gore. It's so refreshing that this one is actually really good. Also, you've probably noticed by now that this movie looks like doo-doo fart shit. But honestly, even that I really like. It has that look of a grimy, grungy horror reboot, which are notorious for looking like fucking shit.
I can't help it.
The only thing with this movie that I would honestly call a flaw is that Alison Brie is in it, and she's not Ghostface. Like, she actually would have been the best Ghostface of all time. It's kind of insane to me that this is the one in the series that kind of flies under the radar, too. Like, I don't see this one get talked about nearly as much, which is crazy because this is so easily the best one. Like, are you guys okay? Why don't we talk about this one? This movie is honestly so good that it almost makes the whole series worse. This is Wes Craven's last movie before he passed away in 2015, and he really left this series with a pretty definitive ending, and what might be its best movie yet. But things can never just stay good, can they?
Woo! That was awesome!
This is one of the best horror movies of all fucking time. Easily one of my favorites of the last 10 years and is easily one of the most fun movies this genre has seen in a long time. The movie I'm talking about is obviously 2019's Ready or Not. Ready or Not is so good, and when I heard that the directors behind it were getting the keys to the Scream Kingdom, I was actually pretty excited. It felt like we were actually about to get something unique and different. You guys like Scream 1? Because this is just Scream 1, but like, again. This movie opens with an opening kill sequence. We love those. In this one, Wednesday gets a mysterious phone call from a mysterious It's Ghostface. She hits the fucking Drew Barrymore circuit too. She does the knife thing, she makes some food on the stove, and Ghostface even tells her that her partner will be in trouble if she doesn't answer some question. It's the same goddamn shit. For the most part. Not only is the actual sequence a genuinely good modern twist on the opening of the original, with smart locks and security systems being more common in the average home these days, but she actually fucking lives. Before this movie came out, I would have bet real Canadian money that she was gonna get killed.
You better stop!
But she actually lives, subverting the original. And I thought that maybe this movie was actually gonna be really cool and unique, actually subverting the tropes and cliches from the original, and then it just never happens again. Awesome movie. Great, great stuff. Scream 5 tackles the concept of legacy sequels and horror reboots, which, wait, the last one just did that. Scream 5 feels like if Scream 4 was written by Twitter. Almost everything in this movie is either recycled from other movies or completely unrelated to horror movies. Now look, I'll give this movie some kind of credit. They actually put in the effort to make the main character someone who isn't Sydney. The main character, Sam Carpenter, is just Sydney if she was boring and liked killing people. I feel bad saying it because Melissa Barrera got a lot of hate for her acting in this movie, but I'm sorry, this character kinda sucks. She only really acts on whatever the plot needs her to do, and the only character traits she has come in when her fucking spooky ghost dad lets her inherit his murderer powers. And normally I wouldn't really criticize a slasher movie of all things for having a weak narrative or weak character writing, but this movie likes to act like it's a fucking character drama 80% of the time. It wants to be a slasher and a drama at the same time, and it's not really good at being either. Even the characters from the last movie aren't really written well here either. The most that some of them even get are these fucking No Way Home style entrances, and it just feels kind of stupid.
Excuse me.
Everybody get up and clap for this normal white woman. The only person in this who really gets to do something I actually like is Dewey. Dewey actually feels like someone who's done this dumbass shit 4 times and he's sick of it. They even somehow made him and Gail getting a divorce actually work. And overall, I really think he's the most entertaining character in the whole thing. And then he dies halfway through and the movie just becomes total ass. Scream 4 played with the idea of a sort of Scream reboot by having these characters that look like dupes of the original cast on the surface, but actually have the trope get turned on its head later. And Scream 5 introduces a handful of Scream dupes as well. And they're just that, there's just no twist, they are just the cast of Scream. Gee, this girl sure does remind me of Randy Meeks. Yeah, well that's because she's Randy's niece. Oh, well maybe she'll be the killer because Randy wasn't, nope, she's Randy, she's just normal Randy. Because we gotta have Randy, guys. It's like the first one. You know who I really liked in the first one? I really liked Stu Macher. Let's make a new Stu Macher. She can even live in the Stu Macher house. It's the dumbest shit. Girl, nobody cares about that damn house. Everything that people like about this movie is recycled from the first one. But Aiden, Scream 5 is a parody of legacy sequels. It makes fun of them by— Shut the fuck up! Makes fun of them by doing what? You made a legacy sequel! Who are you fooling? That's like a 270-pound man making fun of a 300-pound man for being fat.
So that's what that looks like.
Every new sequel relies on cheap cameos and fan service so people will get up and clap at it. And this movie is exactly that! Oh, the original trio is back in action to make fun of legacy sequels, but all they do is the normal legacy sequel shit. Sydney runs up on the Stu Macher house like she's fucking Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian, and it's actually praised as a genius deconstruction of legacy sequels. Oh, everyone is just a child of somebody from the original, just like in those other movies, but there's no fucking twist. Maybe if you had one of the ghost faces maybe pretend they were the child of one of the original killers to fit in with that stupid legacy sequel cliche, it would be pretty cool. But no! We gotta have the main character be Billy Loomis's daughter, and then we can have Billy Loomis show up for a quick fan service cameo. He's even wearing the same outfit from the first movie. This movie is so fucking stupid. I feel like I live on another planet compared to everybody else who sees some genius commentary on the film industry when it's literally just studio slop. All right, I'm good, everybody. We're good. Back to business. Even though I really don't like this movie, it's honestly not far off from the quality of Scream 2 and 3 in the sense that it's, like, watchable. There's good bits in it. The bloody hands on the phone bit is genuinely hilarious. Basically everything involving Deputy Hicks or her son is really good. It's shot pretty well, and honestly, this movie is definitely the most I've liked Sydney as a character since the first one. But in the back of my mind, I hear this annoying, stupid voice. Scream 4, at its core, was about the fame people involved in tragedies go through, regardless of their consent, and how easy it is to exploit that power and achieve something of an immortality through the media. And Scream 5 is about The Last Jedi.
This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit, man.
Star Wars fucking sucks! Right now, I fucking hate it!
Wait, what? I am the last person who should be complaining about making unrelated things tie back to Star Wars. It's probably the only thing I'm good at. But why is your horror genre commentary film making its entire thesis about Star Wars? I think the blowback to The Last Jedi has genuinely made some people's view of franchise filmmaking completely insufferable. For better and for worse. Now, for the record, I love The Last Jedi. I think it's a great movie. I love Rey, I love Kylo Ren, I love what they did with Luke Skywalker, and I think the fact that it's divisive as it is honestly hilarious. But I also find it extremely annoying. It's funny to me that people viscerally hate it because, oh, Luke Skywalker doesn't even kill anybody in this movie. This shit sucks. But I think the people who aggressively love it are arguably way more annoying. Look, all I'm saying is you don't see people who hate The Last Jedi making entire movies about it. Scream 5 is so aggressively in your face about how much they like The Last Jedi, it's honestly nauseating.
Remember the Stab movie that came out last year?
Oh, yeah, the one the Knives Out guy directed, right? I actually really liked that one.
Of course you did. You have terrible taste.
Wow, that's really subtle. Almost missed that one. The killer's entire motivation is essentially... Let me do my Jack Quaid voice. What does Jack Quaid sound like? Oh, I didn't like The Last Jedi. Now I'm gonna kill everybody! And it makes people think that it's the smartest movie of all time. And I guess, in a way, that's kind of smart. They basically protected themselves from all potential criticism. Because now anybody who has anything remotely negative to say about this movie is a rabid fanboy who's just like Richie. You just don't understand this movie. It's a genius deconstruction about legacy sequels and franchise filmmaking. You people make me want to throw myself down a flight of stairs! This movie made a deconstruction of legacy sequels by making a genuine fucking legacy sequel, and you guys all fell for it! It made $140 million, and you want to know what really pisses me off? It's not even the last movie in the fucking series. They made fun of legacy sequels, and then started a sequel trilogy! So let's get this shit over with already. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. 0 out of 10, worst movie ever made.
Woo! That was awesome!
Let it begin. Push it away, but it's pulling me in.
Scream 6 is a movie I have not seen. Now honestly, I thought about ending the video right there and really causing a damn ruckus, but honestly that just didn't feel right to me. I skipped out on Scream 6 because if you couldn't tell, I really didn't like Scream 5. And 6 just kind of looked like Scream 5 but with no Sidney or Dewey. And to me that honestly sounded unwatchable. But I put on a brave face and sat down to finally watch this movie just for you guys.
I totally forgot Samara Weaving was in this.
Okay, wait, this might be good. It's not really that good. However, the opening of this movie is genuinely sick as fuck. Having the opening kill not cut to a title card and instead reveal the killer immediately is genuinely interesting. Dude, never fuck with Ghostface in the Bronx.
Flash!
I like that we follow him for another chunk of time before he gets taken out by the actual killers. It's genuinely really cool and a great twist on the formula that, just like the last movie, is the only time it ever does something that cool. Honestly, besides the opening, this movie's basically exactly what I expected. It's just Scream 5, but slightly worse, and to be honest, I can't really say I'm disappointed by that. For once, I'm gonna be nice and I'm gonna start off with the good stuff, because I feel like I've been a little too negative in this video. For one thing, the poster for this movie is really good. Now moving on to the bad stuff, this movie is so goddamn tiring. Not in the way that it's like the fucking death of cinema or whatever, but it's just a lot of boring shit happening all at once, and it took a lot out of me.
Sam, slow down. Tara, no. Get back inside, lock the door. Are you serious?
I'm sick of these two. God damn. It's been 30 minutes. I'm so sick of this shit. Their dynamic is exhausting to me. I don't know what it is, but I just feel so exhausted by these two. I don't know why. In my opinion, the worst thing about Scream 5 was how at some points it seemed to think it was a deep and personal character drama. I don't know where it got that idea. This used to be a series about people dying. Scream 6 decides that it wants to double down on this, but it's done so poorly that I honestly just can't bring myself to get invested. They want to have these super deep character moments and have these emotional scenes, but they don't really know how to write characters and can't help but force in weird, quippy Marvel dialogue for no reason. This movie introduces the Core 4, which in my opinion is the dumbest thing you can do for a murder mystery series. Yeah, there are killers on the loose, but don't worry, they can't kill anybody from the last movie, and they also can't be the killer. Sam and Tara are also just kind of insufferable. Tara always has these little outbursts at people and gets all angry, and then the person she's mad at will just like make a joke or something else will happen, and she'll just be like, okay, everything's fine now, we're all friends here. And Sam is just so bad. I'll give her one thing, she tends to act more like a person in this movie than she did in the first one, but the arc they attempted to give her in this movie is so funny. It doesn't even really start until the beginning of Act 3, and it's essentially, I'm not like my murderer father, I'm better than that.
My father was a murderer. No matter what you think, I'm better than that.
No, you're not. You just killed 2 people.
But just when I thought I was lost, and that this movie was just gonna be a complete dumpster fire, an angel ascended from the heavens.
Yo, what? Oh my god, that's right. Oh my, dude. I totally forgot she was in this. Shit, dude. Fuck. Oh my god. Wait, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm not dead. I'm alive again. Dude, she looks good.
Kirby is the best character in the entire fucking movie, and it is not much of a shock as to why.
I didn't want to spend the rest of my life being afraid of monsters. I wanted the monsters to be afraid of me.
Fuck, dude, there's a reason that Scream 4 is the best one. Like, even, like, the one character in this movie from Scream 4 is way better than anybody else, and that cannot be a coincidence. When this movie isn't focusing on these shitty characters, it's focusing on the whodunit aspects. And that's not even good either. Not only is the mystery itself insanely obvious,
He looks like evil Evan Peters. That's a lie, actually. Evan Peters looks like evil Evan Peters. He looks like nice Evan Peters. Which can only mean that he's Ghostface, obviously. But, you know.
2 hours later.
Bro, I fucking said that like 2 hours ago. But it also feels like it has no tension at all. Basically, every main character gets stabbed in this and lives. And after a while, it just gets exhausting. And after 2 hours of this, I can't really be bothered to give a shit. There was a point where I just kind of wanted everybody to die, because at least that'd be funny. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm really trying hard to make this entertaining, but there's just nothing here. I don't even really have that much to say about this one because it's just such a nothing movie. At least with Scream 5, I can yell and get mad and lose my voice over stupid shit. But with this one, it's just, yeah, this is just kind of what you get after 6 fucking movies. It just makes me wanna, makes me want to go to sleep. I'm just gonna rest my eyes for a minute.
Wake up!
Where was I? Oh, right. Do you see why these movies kind of suck now? There's like 6 of them, and literally 2 of them are good.
I don't care about movies. Don't even care about who I really am.
No, not really. You know what, Ghostface? I learned something today. Today I learned that even if I don't like a movie series, I can still rank them and make everybody mad. Alright, we're ranking all the Scream movies, all 6 of them. Alright, let's get excited. Coming in at number 6 is Scream 6. It really did feel weird not putting Scream 3 as the bottom of the list, but I'm sorry, 6 is just so bad. There's basically nothing in this movie that I like. It is a failure of a movie to me. The opening is fine, I guess, but if the opening of your movie is the only good part, I think you did something wrong. Number 5, Scream 3. Scream 3 is very bad. Up until I watched Scream 6, I would have bet money that this was the worst one. But what it has over Scream 6 is that it has funny parts. Scream 6 has no redeeming qualities in that department. Scream 3 has good bits, and it's funny, and it has that 90s camp, even if it came out in the 2000s. Number 4, Scream 2. Scream 2 and 3 are the same fucking movie, but Scream 2 has more actors I like in it. Timothy Olyphant and SMG? Man, forget it. I don't think this one is nearly as bad as I was making it seem, but I don't think it's very good either. There's genuine moments that I really like that stage play sequence is fucking awesome. But it still just doesn't feel like a movie that needed to exist, and in a series like Scream, I feel like a sequel really needs to justify its existence. And none of these really do. Number 3, Scream 5. Now, I myself thought I'd put this way lower, but honestly, I think it has a little bit of an edge over the other ones. It's still stupid as shit, but it's got some really good shit in it as well. I really like Jack Quaid as an actor, and he's such a good Ghostface, even if his motivations are terrible. I also predicted that he was going to be Ghostface like a fucking year before this movie came out, so that was fun. I don't really like Sam, and I don't really like Tara, but Sydney is so good in this one, and so is Dewey, so I don't know, it's pretty good. And number 2 is Scream 1, the first Scream. I thought this was going to go at number 1, but honestly, I don't really want to do that. Scream 1 is so good, it's so rewatchable, it's a fucking classic, it's amazing. It has the best ghost faces out of the whole series, and it's the most solid movie in this entire franchise. But I can't act like I don't prefer number 1 Scream 4. Scream 4 is the most underrated Scream movie, and it is insane to me. Scream 4 is so smart, it's so good, it's so funny, it's so gory, it's so well acted, and it's actually well written, which is so insane. If I had to be more objective, I'd probably say Scream 1 is better as a movie, but Scream 4 just has that edge, and I want to be different today. So Scream 4 is the best Scream movie, no competition, I love it. No, I was joking earlier, but I really did learn a lesson today. Today I learned that even if I don't like a movie series, I can still look at it in a better light and really understand why people like it so much. It's because you're all stupid.
Take a little walk to the edge of town and go across the track where the viaduct looms like a bird of doom as it ships and cracks, where secrets lie in the border fires and the humming wires. Yeah, man, you know you're never coming back. Past the square, past the bridge, past the mills, past the stacks. On a gathering storm comes a tall, handsome man in a